How to rent a car in Turkey. Hey guys, this is Ozzie from Wanderlust Awe Syndrome, where I provide unique views, advice, and stories for you, the passionate traveler. Today I'm going to talk about how to rent a car in Turkey. It's an interesting process that you have to go through, so we're going to get right into it. Let's talk about the process. The process of renting a car is very simple. You can go online, you can reserve a car, and you go out there, get out there. My advice to you is if you have an old beat up phone or you have a phone that's paid off, make sure that you get a SIM card, because you will want to be able to call or have access to call the car rental dealership if you're getting your car away from the airport. I'll give you an example. I did that. I rented a car out in Turkey. The place that had to get the car was off site from the airport, but I didn't have the number or I didn't have anyone to contact them, which we were coming in late from our flights, but it was very rough, and we was fearful that they closed. Fortunately for us, that we had someone help us get in contact with a car rental place, and they was able to talk to them in Turkish and get through fast, rather than us like freaking out, because at that point my wife and I were both freaking out, didn't know what to do. So my advice to you is get a SIM card, get it in there, have the number before you go out there, be able to contact them as soon as possible. I recommend that you contact them before you leave your country, so you know what's going on. Chances are they'll have an English speaker, because it's Istanbul. More likely you'll fly into Istanbul and you'll have a lot of people who can speak English out there, because they attract a lot of people who speak English. So make sure that you do all that. But after that, the process is very simple. It's easy. You sign the paper, you do it, then you do the checks with your car, make sure everything's good. What's interesting was when we got out there, the company that we were with, they had brand new cars, which was awesome. So I also recommend that you check your gas, because when the car that we got was near empty and we had to drive about 50 miles from the location of our car rental place to downtown or uptown, whatever you want to call it, Istanbul, and I was very fearful of running out of gas at night, not knowing where to go in Turkey. Fortunately, the car was very good on gas and we made it to our destination. But check your gas and make sure that you got a decent amount, at least half a tank, so you can keep your peace of mind knowing that you can get to your destination, whether it be Istanbul, Ankara, wherever. Just make sure that you got your gas. Autoparks. If there's one thing I despise the most about Turkey, it's Autoparks. I despise Autoparks like no other. Autoparks come in different shapes and sizes. You'll find out that most of them either are in the garage, some kind of garage, or they're outside behind gates. The issues I have with Autoparks are that they're very tiny in size. Like when you go into one, they'll get you, the people in there will get you to park like a can of sardines. So you're almost, if you're trying to park near a wall, they'll try to get you as close to the wall as possible, like to the point that you are fearful that you might scrape and damage your car rental. And it is very stressful in the auto park, in my opinion, because it is so small. You don't have any room for error. When I was in Şalakale and I was leaving the auto park, the exit was so narrow that I scraped my car trying to get out, because it was that narrow and I just didn't have a whole lot of turning room. I was kind of like stuck between a rock and a hard place, and it was just crazy. On top of that, another issue is that if you're thinking you're gonna pay your parking fee when you get out with a credit card, guess again, don't expect to use a credit card to get out of an auto park. Have lira on you, because that's the only way that you can get out. Especially if you're going to do it at a garage, you have to go up to a person and pay lira. They don't take anything for the most part, from my experience. Some auto parks will have valet guys who will take your car and just park it wherever. So that's good at some places. I know that happened to me in Chalet Calais, if I'm saying that right. If I'm not saying that right, I apologize. But anyway, when I was out there, it was nice. But like I said, when I got out, I should have got the valet to do the exit for me and save me the headache of worrying that now I just scraped the car and I'm gonna have to pay all this money. Accidents. Alright, so the one big thing that your car rental place agency will tell you is that no matter what kind of accidents you get, you call the police. So if you get, like it's common sense, if you get involved with another driver in an accident, you're gonna call the police. The weird part about it is if you're not involved, if you get an accident like I did, like scraping my car getting out of the auto park, you still have to call the police. Now this didn't make any sense to me, because I thought there's no other driver involved in what happened. Like there's like 0 drivers involved. But the point is, I had to call the police, and I remember my wife telling me, yeah, you gotta call the police. And I'm like, why? There's no other drivers involved. And I'm like, this be a waste of time trying to call police, get in contact, and hope that they speak English, because it's gonna be a loss in translation trying to figure out what's gonna happen. And I just thought it was just a waste of time. I didn't think nothing of it. When I returned my car rental, the guy looked at me after seeing what I did, after telling him. He said, "You have the ticket." I'm like, "What ticket? Did you call the police?" I'm like, "No, I didn't call the police. I was just thinking, I didn't think it was be a big deal. I thought that you would just look at the damage and charge me whatever and just move on." He was like, okay. He's like, all right, don't worry about it. But that's the thing to keep in mind. If you get an accident with a car rental, whatever you involve, another driver or not, they kind of expect you to call the police and get something from them. But at the end of the day, if it happens, just don't. More likely, they're not gonna be bothered by it. Roads. When I was in Turkey, there are a lot of constructions, especially whether you're in the city or you're leaving out of the city and you're just driving in the middle of nowhere. There's always constructions. You have to be very careful and vigilant when you're driving, especially at night, because the way they put the stuff to direct traffic during constructions or at a construction area is very weird. So you have to be very careful. It's not. A lot of the Turkish highways don't have a lot of lights, so you gotta keep your head up, and you gotta make sure that you pay attention as the changing of the road path can affect how you drive and where you go. And it's weird, it's crazy, but they're doing a lot of constructions in Turkey, especially near Istanbul, so just be wary of that. Also, pay attention to the speed limit. The speed limit changes crazy. The country will have speed limits to tell you to slow down, but they won't have speed limits to tell you to speed up. You just gotta know when to speed up and go. But for the most part, a lot of Turkish people don't follow the speed limit anyway. They just go and just move on. But if you're out there, you'll see signs telling you to slow down, but when you have to speed up, you won't see it. You just have to know when it's time to speed up and just go. As you're using the roads, make sure you fill up with gas in the major cities. Turkey is a very big country, and there's a lot of places in Turkey where there's no man's land, where there's just nothing out there. So if you're going to be driving long ways, make sure you fill up. Make sure you have a game plan. Make sure that you know where to stop for gas, because if you run out in the middle of nowhere in Turkey, you're gonna run out. Make sure you plan well ahead. Make sure you fill up your car with gas, enough gas to get you to your destination where you want to go. The last and final thing I'm going to talk about are Turkish drivers. Turkish drivers, let me say, are crazy, and they are very aggressive. I've driven in a lot of places, and I've dealt with a lot of aggressive drivers, but Turkish drivers take it to a whole new level. You won't believe me until you've driven out there. If you go to Istanbul, just clutch your steering wheels as tight as possible, because you're going to see some of the craziest stuff you probably have never seen in your driving career or life. Turkish drivers will tailgate behind you, they'll cut you off, they'll have people back into a busy highway, they'll even park in the middle of the road, sit there for about 5 hours, exaggerating a little, just so 3 guys could get out, be able to talk and do whatever while there's an entire traffic. It is very crazy, and to bounce off of that, make sure you have GPS. That's another reason why you should get a SIM card, because the GPS is going to be very helpful. You're going to need the GPS on your phone if you get the SIM card, because you're going to have to focus a lot if you're a driver to get in through Istanbul and the major cities. And even so, even when you leave the major cities and you go to the highways, Turkish drivers don't care. Like I said, they don't care about the speed limit. They will go. They won't stay in their lanes. They'll take up 2 lanes. It's insane when you're out there. Defensive driver, you have to keep your head on the swivel. If you are tired, make sure you get plenty of sleep before you hit the road in Turkey. You do not want to pass out, especially at night. You do not, I repeat, you do not want to pass out. If you're planning to drive in Turkey, I hope that you are safe. I hope that you have fun during your time out in Turkey. I hope this helped you guys out. If you're planning to rent a car in Turkey, it was fun for me to drive around, and I love the freedom of driving in another country and exploring and seeing what the roads are. But just be careful, just be aware, keep your head on a swivel, and driving a car in a car rental is fun in Turkey. Hi, my name is Ozzie and you're on my channel, Wanderlust Awe Syndrome. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe, and share this video, and come along with my journey as I explore the world and sharing unique views, advice, and stories.